I continue to bring up De'Aaron Fox here, Skylar, and I think the biggest reason why I do so is because, and I'm privy to that. I do this all the time. When I view the Kings, I think De'Aaron Fox as that franchise centerpiece. De'Aaron Fox is the building block to this team. But I've been going through probably like just leading into the show when I knew I was gonna have you on. Once again, thank you for coming on the show. But going leading up to this moment, I've been debating like, could we maybe stop saying that? Maybe Sabonis is the guy. Maybe the reason why they traded for a two-time All-Star that's the same age as the player that you draft, is it just because they drafted De'Aaron Fox that he's the franchise centerpiece? Or is the two-time All-Star at his position, walking double-double, probably the most consistent player on the team heading into next season, should be known as the franchise player? What do you think about De'Aaron Fox versus Domantas Sabonis? In your mind, who should carry the tag, the label, as the Kings franchise player heading into next season?
If I were forced to label, then I would say probably Fox. I think that drafting the player does mean something, and that he's been here for a while, and the fans are more accustomed to him. So I think that's a big deal. But all the steps the Kings have made, at least like the over this offseason, during the season, trading Tyrese, I feel like that was all part of putting that focus as De'Aaron as a franchise player. I don't think that they make that move in order for Tyrese Halliburton. If it was Fox for Sabonis. I think that Fox is their guy, and I think that he probably is their best player when all things go right. We know what Sabonis is. Sabonis is consistent. He's going to get you 20 and 10 every night. But when Fox is on, he's the best player in the team.
Yeah, I mean, I think just because of this is such a guard driven league that I believe you. Like I think that De'Aaron Fox, talent wise, if everything is working right, he's the best player on the team. But I think consistency does have to play into a factor when you're considering the franchise player. Like for example, I mean Chris Webber was the team's franchise player and arguably the best player at the time because he was the most consistent was between Peja and Bibby. Just because of what they were doing back in their prime. So I think it's coming into that type of debate, but you know who the guy is, and I still say it is De'Aaron Fox. I mean, you can't teach that type of speed. You can't teach that fourth quarter takeover ability and the fact that on any given night the man can still drop 50 on you. But at the same time, you look at a guy in Sabonis, and he hasn't really showed it during EuroLeague, I'll be honest. The three-point shooting has not looked great in EuroLeague. But I mean, the fact that he's working on it, and I think you're going to see a lot of that three-point shooting from him. I think you have to really look at it and try to figure out who is that guy. And in your opinion, do you think that has to be defined at all, or do you think that both of them are going to have to rely on each other in terms of being co-franchise tag players like a Kawhi and Paul George, and just knowing that Kawhi or De'Aaron Fox in this situation is just A and Sabonis is B?
Yeah, I'd prefer to just look at him as a duo. I wouldn't want to put that label on either of them because in the end, I would trust either of them with the ball in their hands, with the game on the line. So, I mean, De'Aaron's been here, so I think that's why he gets the nod, to be honest. It's just that he's been here and the fans love him, and, we all feel a little bit more attached to him.
Yeah, man. If you guys can't tell, King's Film Room getting some love in the chat as well. Loving your breakdown, man. Like I said, people come on the show, they talk about the breakdown. So shout out once again to you guys in the chat. And if you haven't done so already, please do us a huge favor. Hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to the show, please hit that subscribe button.